How do I have two chats open at the same time? Oops, I closed the wrong one. Oops, let me get the chat open, guys. We're just loading right now. We got to get everything loaded. Oh, getting everything loaded at the beginning of the show. What's up, everybody? Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Uh-oh. Stream health is only nominal. What's going on here? Why is our stream health no good this beautiful, beautiful day before Thanksgiving? I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. It says it's only mediocre. So, I don't know. Hopefully it's all right on your end. On my end, it says the stream is mediocre at best. But this is the day. Today is the day before Thanksgiving. So it's Thanksgiving Eve. All right? Are you all prepared? You got all your ducks in a row for roasting? You'd be like, roasted duck on an open fire. Turkeys fried in a deep fat fryer. Are you guys going to do that deep fried turkey? That stuff's wild. That stuff's wild. I don't think I'm going to do a deep fried turkey. I have the ability. I have the big pot and the burner. But I don't think we're going to do a deep fried turkey. That's just, I don't know. I think we're going to go low and slow. We're going to roast a turkey in the oven. It's a little easier that way, right? Plus we get that free oven heat. You know what I'm talking about? We get that free oven heat because we're like cooking a turkey, plus the oven's warm, and then the house will be warmer, right? But gearing up for some of the family coming over, and we're going to be going crazy for Thanksgiving, which will be fun. Mark Dibble has a great question here. Am I a Black Friday or a Cyber Monday type of guy? I'm all of it. I'm all of it, bruh. I mean, Cyber Monday will probably see nothing that I need this year. Cyber Monday will probably be 0 things that I need this year, so that's the least amount of fun. But I got some news for you guys. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there are some serious sales going on right now on the Aquarium Co-op. And the one thing that I'm super excited for, there's a link right there. That's not the right one, but this is one of the 2 things that I'm super excited for the Black Friday sale at Aquarium Co-op. I can even just grab a part here and hold it up. CO2 art, the regulators, the expansion kits, all that stuff is going to be 15% off, which is pretty wild. You don't ever see that. And then the other thing is, I don't know where I lost the link. Where did it go? Oh, man. Where did that link go? Do I have it around here? Yes. Generate. As you guys know, I can't put giant links in here, otherwise YouTube gets super mad. Which is understandable, because, you know, I mean, even if it was, like, supposed to be cool, giant links aren't fun, so I have to downsize them. But the CO2 art regulators and stuff, this is actually the expansion kit right here, which I'm actually going to be setting up probably today, actually. I have gotten some mixed reviews on these. I've gotten some mixed reviews from people about the CO2 art regulators, though personally I've never had a bad experience with them, and a majority of the bad experiences that I've gotten from people are like easily amended, right? So a lot of people mentioned to me that they continually have problems with the secondary, with the expansion kit here, because the bubble counter, this piece right here, they keep saying that like it goes dry and they can't really tell what's going on, and that's a really easy thing to be fixed. Realistically, am I gonna break this thing? There we go. So this little container right here, you can fill it with water, but the water will most likely evaporate. I prefer to use mineral oil. I know a bunch of people that just use olive oil, but mineral oil is really kind of the spot where it'll stop that problem from happening, and that seems to be the biggest complaint that I've heard from most people, is that the expansion kit has a tendency to like run out of fluid in here, and then they're not sure what's going on into their tank. But that's not an issue to me, because hopefully I gave you guys just the little tip just now of use mineral oil in there instead of water. It almost always will be a problem if you can use tank water in there, but it is gonna evaporate. It's just gonna blow out of there and be gone. So that's just a nature of those things. That's just how it works. So I use mineral oil, and I never really encounter that problem. Then the other thing that I'm pretty excited about is the fact that the Fluval lights. So the Fluval 3.0 lights, I know there's some people out there that are kind of tripping about some of the par readings and things that they've gotten off of those lights. I will tell you that today's video is basically brought to you by Fluval 3.0 lights. Everything in my 240 and stuff like that is grown under those lights. I have, with air quotes, hard to grow plants, easy to grow plants, all that stuff. They're a really modular light, yes. In one of my videos, I was talking about how they're Wi-Fi controlled. Yes, you can Wi-Fi control them. I haven't done any video on that because it's a monumental pain in the butt. And I think most people don't have, a Galaxy S7 that they can do that with. You know what I mean? But they are Bluetooth controlled, which most people have just a regular cell phone. They are Bluetooth controlled, so you can pop in there, use the app, and change the spectrum on them and stuff, which is a huge deal. It's a huge deal as far as I'm concerned, that if I need to bump the reds or the blues or any of that kind of stuff in there, that I'm able to do that. That is just one of the biggest features about them that I find to be the biggest deal. Definitely the biggest deal. And to get them at 15% off is pretty crazy. And I was looking at it earlier. Corey and I were talking about them. I realized that those lights are on sale already anyhow. Like he'd already marked them down a little while ago. So not only are they like marked down, but they're going to be 15% off. So if you have been kind of hesitant on getting those lights and stuff like that, I would say like now's kind of the time, starting at midnight tonight. You're going to be able to get 15% off all the stuff, pretty much everything off of the site except for like gift cards and stuff like that, right? So I'm excited for Black Friday because of that, to be able to see like such a good sale like that. I'm personally not interested in like the $1 per gallon sale. It's not something that I ever have to take advantage of. I'm certainly not somebody that's like going to the Petco like doorbusters thing to get like food samples or whatever they have that they hand out. I mean, I'm not super excited about that, but I'm pretty excited about the Aquarium Co-op, like him putting everything on sale is pretty monumental. And then, but realistically, you just don't see that. You just don't see that from any of the retailers to just be like, oh, the lights are going to be on sale and stuff like that. So, and then the, as Benjamin just pointed out, get them before the price of LEDs go up. So I would say 15% off right now, right? And remember, at the beginning of the year, all of those lights are going to be going up by 25% because that's the new tariff. So our president has decided to put a new tariff in place on things that are imported, especially from China and stuff like that. So if you look at it this way, that I kind of do, like if you're to get them now, it would be like getting them 40% off from what they're going to be. So prices are going to go way up. So, I mean, if you think about like a $200 light is going to be $250, just because, and no one's getting more money. It's just all tariff taxes and stuff like that. So it's just all government nonsense. So, it's not even like Corey's going to get more money or something like that. It's just going to go up, and all that money is just going to kind of disappear off into the ether. So I would definitely take advantage of that right now. So I would get it all lined up in your cart and then hit that checkout button at midnight. Because here's the deal. There's going to be a lot of people lined up for that sale. And I have a little bit of insight for you guys. 124 people here right now live. You guys will be able to get in on a little bit of maybe a little secret here. That sale will go live at midnight Pacific Standard Time tonight. Okay? So because it starts tomorrow, it actually has to start like tonight at midnight. So my time right now is 3:17 p.m. So whatever that means for your time zone, I would look it up. But I would be primed and ready like at midnight. I would even set an alarm to just get up and like check out at the shopping cart just so that you'd be able to get the things that you're looking for. CO2 regulators and stuff like that, they're in way high demand right now, so it's actually hard to even for anybody to keep them in stock. They just can't. They're not really being able to make enough of them and stuff like that. And I have to put emphasis that a bunch of that stuff is going to go up by a lot of money in just like a month, a month and a week, basically. Like when the new year starts, all that stuff's going up, and there just isn't really much that anybody can do about it because it's coming from the top down, I guess. We live under the control of a government, right? So I just wanted to point out to you guys that you'd be able to hit that right at midnight and be able to get that sale. And I just really wanted to emphasize to you guys, if you think it's a good idea to just wait until Friday or Sunday or anything like that, it's not a great idea. Because chances are stuff can be like sold out, I know that I was at the warehouse just like Friday, I think, Saturday, something like that. And I was looking through the stocking of stuff that's there, and I don't know that there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff landing today or tomorrow. I do know that the bigger CO2 regulator is actually supposed to be landing today, so those are probably the stock numbers on that will go back up. But I don't know if there's a bunch of Fluval lights coming in or whatnot, but I would 100% get on that and just get those before they're gone. You know what I mean? It's really going to be one of those situations. And, if you're a big Phoenix fan, the other lights and stuff like that on there, I would say go for it. But, just how good the just how good the Fluval light, the 3.0 actually is, I would just say go for it. And the big thing for me is that the warranty on it is next level. It's like a 3-year warranty. So that's going to be one of the big deals. And I do have to tell you guys, so yesterday I put out a video that was about the reef disaster. And you guys that show up to the live streams and stuff know that the reef disaster did happen a while ago. So it has been a little while. And Fluval actually sponsored to send me out some lights for the new reef. So I guess a full disclosure here, I did get those lights for free for the reef. I have been testing those out over the last month and a half or however long it's been, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. We had a baby in the meantime, so I'm not 100% sure on the timeline, but I have been testing those lights out. The reef version, so the Fluval Sea and Marine one, which is a reef light, that thing, those are awesome too. Now, the reef portion of those Fluval night lights, I've been trying them all out. I'm even utilizing the right now. I'm actually even utilizing the Fluval plant nano version for the Refugium, which that part was sponsored by Corey and the Aquarium Co-op. But I will say this, versus every other Refugium light I've ever owned, it is by far and away the best one I've ever owned. It is doing fantastically, and it's about $75. So that's kind of the drag, is that we go like, oh, well, that Refugium light's about $75. In about a month, it's going to go up to probably over $100, probably, or something like that. I mean, I'm no math wizard, but after tax and all that kind of stuff, it's going to go up over $100. So I personally would take advantage of it right now. I'm probably even going to get some stuff from this sale. So, see how it goes. But if you are a big Phoenix fan, the Phoenix Stingray lights are on there also, and which I think it's a real budget move that you could do. It's been a long time since I've used the Phoenix lights personally. I kind of enjoyed them, but mine all broke. So that's always been kind of my detractor from the Phoenix lights, is just like, mine broke. And it probably has something to do with me for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it can't just be, like, if they were in a perfect environment, they probably would, I'm saying it probably has something to do with me screwing it up and probably breaking them somehow, but needless to say, I'm kind of the idiot that that did it. KB's asking what light again. Here, there's the link for you, buddy. That stuff's going to be going on sale, like, starting at midnight tonight. So I just wanted to put the emphasis on that at the beginning of the show here, so everybody knows that sale is starting at midnight tonight. So I would get your shopping cart online. I would get it filled out with what you want, and then just be ready tonight. Like, I would even set an alarm to, like, wake up, check out on the thing, just check out on your phone, get that all done, and get it ready to go. Because I do know an extra super duper secret is that, Corey's wife, Dorcula, is actually going to be doing a lot of the packing of those orders that you guys get in. So if you guys happen to get orders in, it's going to be Dorcula packing them. So I think realistically, as I mentioned on Monday, I do have a gentleman's wager, just a handshake wager going on. We're kind of competing to see who can send the most people over there. It's realistically what it is. I wouldn't recommend you guys to go to Aquarium Co-op if I didn't think that they were awesome and did a good job and all that. Which is why you don't hear me like saying to go to somewhere else. And so they what's the word? What happened? I lost my train of thought. I was up until like 2:30 last night with the baby, so kind of losing my train of thought today. But what? Oh yeah, so I do have a gentleman's friendly wager, but I think I'm going to lose that because I'm currently behind by 55 orders, so I don't think there's going to be any catch up or anything like that. But I definitely wanted to let you guys know that that's going to start tonight. That's going to be going down. So I would just get ready for it. I wouldn't want to miss it. I wouldn't want to miss it, man. It's going to, just going to be one of those things. Jason R. says, well, I have to head off and go dad now. Duty's call. Catch you on the replay. Thanks for the streams. Hope everyone has a great night. I hope everybody else has a great night, too. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. It's going to be buck wild. You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun. We're going to eat some turkey. Get to hang out with my family. I love that stuff. This is the first Thanksgiving that I won't have to go drive all around. So that's going to be a new thing. That's going to be a really new thing. And I would say with all of the benefits of having a beautiful baby, daughter, girl, daughter, female daughter, girl, daughter, beautiful daughter, baby. I'm not saying that's the biggest benefit, but with all of the other benefits, this is just icing on the cake. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to drive to 6 different houses tomorrow. So that's, if we're talking about benefits. Duriel J is asking, do you know if there's any type of wood that is toxic for aquatic life? Yes. Yes, there are quite a few, but most of them are pretty strange. Trees that would be toxic. One that comes to mind is eucalyptus is toxic. Cedar is generally toxic. Any of the super aromatic woods, just steer clear of, basically. But the basically like the rule of thumb with aquarium wood is you want slow growing hardwoods is essentially what you want. So you want just basically any hardwoods are going to be what you're looking for. So if you think of the opposite of hardwood, like bamboo, eucalyptus, cedar is not a hardwood. Anything that's a hardwood is generally going to be fine. I wouldn't be super stressed about it. If it's like oak or manzanita or bogwood, any of that kind of stuff, it's all going to be fine and dandy. Just Bob says birch is bad. Birch isn't bad. But you don't want the tree portion. You don't want the skin. Is it aspirin or Tylenol? I think it's aspirin is made out of the skin of the birch tree, right? So it does have some weird chemicals in it and stuff. So, but birch is a pretty quick growing tree. But let me think. The old 210 back in the day had a whole root ball from a birch tree. Is actually what that was from, a giant birch tree actually that fell down. And I got that from a guy who had it in a giant discus tank. The tree had fallen down, and he was just one of those dudes that had a chainsaw in his trunk. So he cut the root ball off, threw it in his trunk, took it home, pressure washed it, and dude. So the roots are good. The tree portion is not good for birch, but it also is, not that hard of a wood, so it will break down over time, and I would take that into consideration. But Mopani woods, there's so many good wood out there. There's so many types of good good wood that you could use for your aquarium that it's pretty easy to steer clear of the ones that are not good. Like grapevine, I know that a lot of people have used grapevine in their tanks, but grapevine is not. It's not a great wood for an aquarium. The main reason for that is that it breaks down and will just mess up your water. It'll mess up your water super fast. Let's see. Benjamin P says that's awesome. The folks at the co-op do a dang good job. You're right. I mean, that's one of those things. Like, I don't really have any association with people that that don't do a good job. You know, and I think a good example of that would be, you know, I just missed a call from Zenzo earlier. I need to call Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks. Like, if you haven't been over to his channel, definitely check it out. Check out his channel or whatever. But you know, like Zenzo, Corey, you know, Rob from Philip Aquatics, like Aqua Pros, Mike, you know, Swisky, Bob Steenfot, all those guys. Like, that's one of the reasons I hang around with all those guys, because they're all good dudes, and I just don't associate with scummy people. You know what I mean? And I certainly don't associate with scummy companies. I've been approached by some companies that are just like, what? Yeah, I get it. I get that you want to give me some money, but I can't like tell people to, ugh, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I recently just had this long email exchange with somebody they're trying to launch like a new social network or something, and which I get it. I get what they're trying to do. But that's a perfect example of like, I'm just going to kind of look into this company and see what's going on here. I got a real bad vibe. And it's like, nope, see you later. I'm out. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And so that's one of the reasons I recommend people to go to the co-op for sure. You know, Corey's not only my friend, we work together a lot. I think you guys might have noticed in a video that he posted this morning, we've been up there working on his garage, basically just completely remodeling his garage. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. And the people that are lamenting about the Real Fish Talk disappearing, the garage remodel that we're doing is it's directed at a portion of the replacement for the Real Fish Talk. We're essentially building a big workspace that either he and I can collaborate on stuff, or Corey can just go work on showing you guys like some how-tos and things like that. Like, maybe you want to build something. We'll probably be doing some more stuff like the Sump video that we cut up that Sump and whatnot. And you know, we'll probably be doing some of that stuff. So, but that's, you know, that I guess the whole reason I brought that up is like, I wouldn't recommend you guys to go somewhere that sucks. John Gonzalez says, Joel, any turkey cooking tips? Fully thawed, cook it in an oven. You know, I mean, realistically, I find it to be the best. Rotate your turkey. Make sure your temperature, time, I mean, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it depends on how crazy you want to go with whatever you're doing. But I'm pretty traditional. I like a roasted turkey. I like a good gravy. I like a good stuffing. Don't go too crazy. I guess that would be my advice would be, don't go super nuts with the standards that people are expecting from a Thanksgiving thing. You know what I mean? So I would say do a stuffing, do a mashed potato, do a gravy, do a turkey, and then maybe go a little bit weird with some of the other stuff. Like maybe if you wanted to do some kind of niçoise salad, or just like you want to do something weird with the green beans, or you wanted to do like, oh, I'm gonna do a ham also. You know, it's like, but don't just do a ham and then be like, yeah, there's no turkey here, bros, and then wonder why people were all super pissed at your situation. So, Natural Aquarium says, do a wet brine on your turkey and thank me later. Yeah, almost all poultry, you'd probably want to brine it ahead of time. Most restaurants do that and stuff, but I do also find the super secret ingredient for cooking poultry is... Does anybody know what it is? Salt. Salt is the secret ingredient, and then just properly cooking it. That's going to be the biggest hurdle that almost everybody has to deal with, is properly cooking it. You can do a lot of fancy stuff ahead of time. You can do brines, you can do rubs, you could do all sorts of things. If you don't follow through on your cooking properly, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you did ahead of time if you don't follow through on proper cooking technique. And realistically, I really enjoy just kind of the standard poultry moves. You know, we just cooked it properly and it's ready to go, and it's been seasoned. You know, so that's me, kind of a traditional guy. I'll probably eat sandwiches for lunch. You know what I mean? Speaking of sandwiches for lunch, let's go to the video. Let's go to the video. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This video is not that great today. Trying out some new stuff. And shooting the puffers is not easy with the setup that I was out there working with. But if you do pay attention to the video a little bit, you will see puffers in there. There is one right there, swimming around. People have been wondering, what kind of puffers are they? What are with these puffers? What did I say? There are new puffers. I'm going to tell you, and I'm probably going to say this wrong. How do we say it? I swear I have to look at this up, because I will say Scootin' Fruity puffers. Shoutadeni. I don't know how to say it with the right accent. But the Shoutadeni puffers, what I normally would call the Scootin' Fruities is what I normally call them. Preston, thank you very much, my guy. I was gifted these puffers, and you know, it's almost like I don't even know what to say, but thank you. I am going to have years and years and years of endless entertainment. Hopefully. I mean, it should be fine. The tank is rocking and rolling. They are cruising around in there. They're getting their little territories and stuff like that. They're eating like crazy, because there are shrimp and snails and all sorts of stuff for them to scavenge in there. And that's what they're doing. They are doing their work. You know, they're just cruising around, finding things to eat. And I'm utterly entertained. I do have some plans to change their diet just a little bit. I mean, I'm going to amend their diet, which means I'm just going to be, you know, basically adding stuff to their diet. So some, what's my word here? Daphnia, probably some brine shrimp, and probably some bloodworms. Just the typical things, nothing super crazy. John Gilman says, Preston John is the man. You are right. Preston is the man. I cannot believe it, but I went and hung out with him went and got the puffers. Great guy. I can't believe it. I've met him before, but I met him so shortly. We were in Minnesota, and you know, we were at like a loud, crowded restaurant and stuff like that. And you know, it's just, thank you. Thanks, my guy. I got 2 females and a male, so there is a possibility that they will breed at some point in time. The breeding process is pretty crazy in, you know, in an aquaculture situation. Like, it is just wildly in depth to get them to breed and get the babies and stuff like that. I'm just going to be going 100% natural. If they breed and we end up with baby puffers, awesome. If we don't, I don't know. Like, okay, we'll just hang out with the 3 puffers that we got. How big do they get? As Dan is asking, they get about 5 or 6 inches, I think. I don't know exactly how, because they do have like a lot more roundness to them. So it's like, even if they're like this long, they're like that long around. So like probably fist size, pretty much, right? Maybe a little bit smaller than that, but they do get a little bit sizable. But as you guys can tell, you've followed the show for a long time, stuff like that. They are in the 240. That is exactly where, that is the best place for them that I have. I'm not going to be moving them anywhere else. And unfortunately, one of the sad things is that means I'm not going to be able to really expand on the rummy nose, the school of rummy nose tetras in there. I just don't think it's a great idea at this point to add a bunch of rummy nose and stuff like that. I'm pretty well stocked, and a lot of things are breeding in here, so I definitely want to maintain the breeding that is going on and not and not impede it by adding in a bunch of fish or possibly adding in some kind of disease or anything like that. It's just not going to be the best idea. So most of the entertainment that I'm going to be doing in this aquarium from here on out is moving decorations, kind of cleaning, dealing with some plants and stuff. There's a little bit of hair algae in here because of some neglect. It's just the reality of the thing is that with the new baby and all that kind of stuff, I really wasn't doing very much. Excuse me. I really wasn't doing all that much with the aquarium, or the fish room for that matter, for there's basically a couple week period that it was just, I just didn't have time because we were running around doing a lot of stuff. And so there's a fair bit of hair algae in here right now, but it's totally irritating, but we'll get back to balance. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It is just a little bit of algae, and the plants will take back over and squash that algae uprising, whatever we want to call it, whatever we'll call it. All right, I was wondering how long this video was. There we go. That's it, guys. You don't get to watch it again. You don't get to... Okay, you get to watch it again. Sorry, I forgot to turn on the little thing. So... there is a little bit of issue with this tank and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be a great environment long term. So far, the puffers are super stoked. They kind of have so many nice little hidey areas and stuff like that. And it being so planted, I'm really not concerned about the food supply. The food supply will be maintaining for quite a long time. The food supply will be maintaining for quite a long time in here, just with the amount of, just the amount of shrimp that are breeding in here. I mean, you go look in the sump. There's probably 1,000 cherry shrimp in just the sump in this aquarium. If you move a plant around here, a whole bunch of shrimp come popping out. You don't see them that much out in the open, but there's so many places for them to just be cruising around and being shrimp in there that they are everywhere. And I'm going to get some, I am going to be getting some shrimp fairly soon, or not shrimp, sorry, snails, to sort of supplement the snail colony in there. And that's probably the one thing that I'll continue to add to this tank. But between all my tanks, I have quite a few snails and stuff like that, and I am considering. I have the killifish breeding tank. I am considering to swap that tank into just growing snails. So I haven't figured it out yet if that's exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm considering it. Like Ramosa just posted to the Patreon page. Oh, right on. Lots of interaction coming in on the Patreon page recently, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm like always enthusiastic about that. Somebody had sent me somebody sent me a message on Facebook, on Darkstar Arts on Facebook, and I don't know if you guys have a professional, like a business page on Facebook, but it is like impossible to respond to messages on there. I don't know why. Like, I have to come to a computer or whatever and go figure it out. Fab. Oh, Fab4. I get it. P8. Yeah, it took me a second. The Fab4 says done and shared. Well, thanks for sharing it out. Hey, we didn't even talk about sharing stuff out. But just to talk about the Patreon for a second, Dan just posted the link. We've had a lot of people contributing over there and stuff, and I'm definitely kind of excited about it. But one thing I wanted to mention during the show, while some people are here, hanging out, talking, chatting, what do you guys think about the possibility of posting or starting a different website that would have a live chat, the ability to post pictures and stuff like that, because I currently pay for Darkstar Arts to be a hosted page website, and I was considering switching it to another platform so that we could kind of go back old school. Darkstar Aquatics was the old school website where we had like a live chat. We had all that kind of stuff where people could just come in and kind of hang out in the chat room or make their own profile and post up stuff on their deal. I don't know if anybody is interested in doing that anymore. So I figured I'd just kind of plop it in the middle of the show here and be like, hey, if anybody's interested in that, let me know in the comments or let me know in the chat right now, and just let me know what's up. Pete Berlinski's here. What's up, my man? How you doing? Good to see you. Nano Tank is here. Download the Facebook Pages app. It helps. Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point. I just don't want the Pages app on my phone. I want the least amount of Facebook apps on my phone as possible. You know, but I just think it's weird. I so rarely get messages on there that I'm just like, oh, is this a pain? Like, is this always a pain, or is it just like I get so few messages on there? You know, I don't know. M Howie 9 says he liked the old forum days. Yeah, I was thinking like a kind of possibly doing a website like that where it was like more of like, you know, because people could make sort of forum posts and that kind of thing, but you know, I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a demand for it or if anybody's even excited for it. If people were, I would consider, you know, just, you know, reallocating that hosting, you know, that hosting money. You know, I do pay it out every month, so if there's like a better way that I could utilize that so that you guys would have, if you guys would have like a better thing to utilize, I don't know. Mortal Slayer said, you mean a site with a 24/7 chat room? Yeah, probably. Rory is here. So long since I made a live stream. Hope all is well. I'm infested with Malaysian trumpet snails. I need me a puffer. Yeah, I need me Malaysian trumpet snails. I already got a line on those, so we'll be getting some pretty soon. More. I have some now, but they're probably being eaten as we speak. Aquatic Life's local fish store just closed. Nowhere to drop off my red root floaters anymore. Any advice on what to do with enough red roots to cover a 40 breeder? I would sell them. I would check Facebook Marketplace for some of the groups. You could post them up in there. Or I think Aquabid. You could probably go on to Aquabid and find somebody in the U.S. that probably wants to buy them. It's pretty common that people are looking for them one way or another. You know, I mean, it's pretty common that people are looking for red root floaters. It's definitely a useful plant, so who knows? Benjamin P says, so much ice cream. I just ate a whole pint of ice cream, and it's all your fault. Is it my fault? Yeah, it's probably my fault. I'll agree with you on that one. Yep, I'm always talking about ice cream, so I would agree with you. Let's see. Aspirin actually comes from willow bark, and although birch bark can be used to treat rheumatism, it is not an aspirin source. What do they get from birch bark then? What is it? History of aspirin. The history of aspirin begins with its synthesis, and willow bark extract became recognized for its specific effects on fever, pain, inflammation in the mid-18th century. Huh. The active ingredient in the medicine made from willow bark is called salicin. Some people use willow bark as an alternative to aspirin, particularly those that experience chronic headaches. Well, what is made from birch bark then? Well, I guess we'll be going down that path. What is made from birch bark? Birch plywood, made for laminations. Birch tar, Russian oil extracted from birch bark, is thermoplastic and waterproof. It was used as a glue, for example, on arrows, also for medicinal purposes. The leaves of the tree contain vitamin C, are used to make medicine. So the leaves are used to make medicine. Birch is used for infections of the urinary tract that affect the kidney, bladder, uterus, and urethra. It is also a diuretic to increase urine output. Oh, it's a diuretic. That's good. Man, so that's what it is? Okay. I mean, I thought birch was the aspirin thing, but I guess it's willow. Willow bark is aspirin, and birch bark is the that's the tea you make for infections, internal infections. Okay. And apparently the leaves have a lot of vitamin C, which I think I recall that from the survival courses, that you're supposed to make tea out of the birch bark leaves, and to keep that's one of the few ways to get vitamin C in like the Pacific Northwest, or like, temperate forests like here. So, yeah, all right. Hey, thanks for your help. Thanks for pointing that out. If we had that mixed up, it could have ruined somebody's day. But yes, I think that does lead us to the don't put birch bark in your aquarium. You could have something going on. Don't put willow in there either. So, but thanks for the help. Who was it? Who had that? Who posted that? I missed it. I gotta give you props. Where'd it go? Oh. Okay, I lost it. Where did it go? Savannah's allergic to aspirin. I'm allergic to Tylenol, CBD, etc. Ibuprofen is the only one. All right. What about what's the leaf made out of? I forget. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Dr. Acula from Transylvania. Lucy and Richard, Santa Claus dropped off a 50-foot python water changer early because I was such a good fish keeper this year. I love it. More time to watch the fishes. Yes. If you've never had a python before, it is like a game changer once you get one. But I will warn you that when there's nothing quite as disappointing when than when the python breaks. When the python breaks, I don't think I've ever been more disappointed. I've been more disappointed at other times in my life, but heavy disappointment when those things break. So just be cognizant that you can break them pretty easily, and just yeah. Kiwi Mamo says Loaves and Fishes posted the willow and birch bark stuff. Oh, cool. Thanks, Loaves and Fishes. Thanks, Kiwi, for finding it in the chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Mortal Slayer, that would be great. People would be able to help other fish fam all the time. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the upside of like having a live chat or a forum page or something like that people can actually look through, or post a question that is pretty much exclusively, not being, I mean, it's like a Facebook group is pretty useful, but honestly, like, how many people is it getting moved around to that maybe don't like know the answer? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just wasted energy of the internet or something, like showing stuff to all sorts of people that don't even know anything about stuff. Is those sentences made zero sense. I apologize for that. Hold on, let me backtrack here. Like, if you post something to Facebook, is that post going to actually be shown to all the people? So it's like, either that post is going to get shown to people that don't have an answer and they're just going to scroll past it, or does it just not get shown to a whole bunch of people, whereas a forum post will just be there, right? So that's kind of important, right? Like, I think that's kind of the upside. Somebody was asking, where is Candy? I haven't heard from her since noon. So at noon, she was doing well. Right now it's 3:54. My guess would be that she is probably busy doing something. Would be my guess. But I'm sure she's fine, and probably all is well. Ooh, Jackson Kobayarks. Jackson K. It's hard to say your last name, but you shortened it to K. Says, are you going to divulge the rummy nose replacement that you mentioned last stream? I will at some point, but I feel like I'm revealing the Scootin' Fruity Puffers on this stream. I don't know if I want to reveal exactly what my plans are, but I don't think that they're going to be the replacement. They might be a replacement, but they might end up being just the fish that goes into the 150. You know, I think they'll be the fish that goes into the 150 because once I move all the high-end shrimp from the 150, there's really not a reason to try and protect the cherry shrimp that are in there. So I think that'll be about the time to add a fish. And as I mentioned in the last stream, I haven't been able to find the guppies that I really, really, really want. I've found some awesome guppies. Of course, Twin City Guppies has some awesome ones that are pretty great. But I feel like if I'm going to go down the guppy road again of having hundreds of thousands of guppies, what it feels like, once they get breeding and going, and then having to rehome them and do all that kind of stuff, I think I want them to be the exact ones that I want. And they're sort of a mix between like a Cobra Endler and the greatest guppies in the world, but they had short fins. So I don't know. I mean, I know that they exist because I've seen them and I have pictures of them. So I know that they do exist, and I did get them on film. So I'm just going to keep looking, and if those do show up at some point in time, then I might get them. But the fish that screw it. Why am I going to be all like secretive to you guys? You guys actually watch the live stream and stuff. Hold on. Let me see if I can't find the link. It's a Kyathete Danios, and I'm probably saying that completely wrong. Kyathete, I don't know. They are a near threatened fish, so almost all of them are going to be aquacultured. So they do have a real kind of variance between them. They are a Danio, so they are related to, all the other Danios and the Celestial Pearl Danios, right? They might be, what is it, Margaritatas or whatever. Celestial Pearl. Oh, hold on. I'm going to look them up. Whoa. I want to check their scientific name. Where did it go? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, Margaritatus. I guess I was right. And they are a Danio also, so I think. I don't know. I don't know enough about them to really be like yammering on a bunch of information, but I wanted to get the Celestial Pearl Danios, the Margaritatus, Celestiathesis, Margaritatus. They are a pretty cool fish, and I definitely wanted to get them, but it's just super hard to find them. I mean, a lot of people call them Galaxy Rasboras, but they aren't a Rasbora. They're a Danio, just like the and here I'll copy the spelling for you guys. There we go. Paste. So these are available right now, the spotted ones, and so I'm pretty interested in them. I just have to figure out how to figure out a money situation to get them purchased. Blah 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 blah, that kind of stuff, and just figure it out when that'll be able to happen. There's been a lot of unforeseen expenses this month. A lot of money went out as far as production. I don't know where it went. I wanted to show you guys the new gimbal. That's what this today's video is shot on. Basically, I'm trying to get some test shots to figure out the working of this gimbal to be able to utilize it as best I can. And I'm not I'm not satisfied with this video, but I also didn't want this video to just get thrown right in the trash. You know what I mean? So I basically wanted to be able to share it with you guys and be like, this is the first real takes with the gimbal that we got, which is going to come in like monumentally helpful because you can see just from the video that's playing right now how much smoother it is to be able to just walk up and shoot to film a fish tank. And if I'm going to be doing more and more and more and more tours and those kinds of things, I'm going to 100% be just hammering on doing that workflow as best I can. I'm going to be 100% dedicating the Canon 80D, which you guys know is my secondary camera. I'm going to be dedicating that camera all the time to be on the gimbal. It's just going to be 100% set up to run on the gimbal, and so it'll just be ready to go at all points in time. Basically just stick a battery in the camera and run, and start going. So I would expect a lot of goofy gimbal shots from this guy in the future. And so that's kind of the main thing whereas on another month, if those fish were available, I probably would have just ordered them and been like, hey, you know what? I'll just order them, buy them, not a big deal, I'll figure it out later. But as I mentioned in one of the other streams, I actually opened another line of credit to hopefully be able to continue producing YouTube videos, and we shall see what happens. I'm a little bit concerned about how much I'm gonna be ending up with at the end of the year here. We shall see how it goes, but I'm a little bit concerned. It's kind of crunch time, but I'm also willing to just roll the dice and just go with it. You know what I mean? And see what happens and put the work in as much as we can. We got a super chat today. Oh my God. On a Wednesday? Who's super chatting on a Wednesday? Scott Williams, the $5 super chat, says, been out of the hobby for several years, looking to get back into things. In the Seattle area, any good groups, clubs in the area that you'd suggest? Yeah, 100%. So, Scott, the first place that you'd want to look up if you're in the Seattle area is the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. So, the GSAS. They are the local club here. They're hugely organized. There are monthly meetings. There are auctions. There are pretty much anything that you could ask for out of a local fish club. That's where you're going to be looking. As I mentioned earlier, you don't need to be local to go to the Aquarium Co-op, but the Aquarium Co-op is in the Seattle area, and I definitely, it's up in Edmonds, so it is a bit of a drive, but it's not that far realistically. If traffic is fine, it's basically a 20-minute drive, so it's not out of control or anything like that. But what's the word I'm looking for here? What happened? But the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society is going to be the spot to go. Holiday party coming up on December 11th from Bentley. You could be able to meet Bentley there. You'd be able to meet quite a few people. Alyssa Bentley goes to some of them. She doesn't go to all of them or anything like that, but there are a lot of people that go to the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. They have really good talks. They have really good meetings and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff. So that's where I would go, and Aquarium Co-op, and just hop onto Facebook and check things out. There also is a pretty cool store called Aquarium Zen up in the Roosevelt area. Aquarium Zen's like an aquascaping store. Steve Waldron owns it. Pretty cool dude. His hours leave something to be desired. He is open at the weirdest times, and seems like almost every time I try to stop by there, he's either closed or not open yet or something like that. So I would double check with Aquarium Zen if you're going to go there, just to make sure that they're open. Because that's just happened to me a bunch of times, where I'm like trying to go there and be like, hey man, what's going on, bruh? I want to buy some plants or something. And but there is a quite a big group in Western Washington, so I think you're going to be in pretty good hands. I would start out with the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society and move along from there. Get some advice, get some ideas, and just keep on rocking. So yeah, there are quite a few. Let's see. Alyssa says, well, I only joined a year ago. Haven't missed an event since the GSAS rules. Yeah, I used to go to all the meetings years and years ago. I don't really go to them anymore. It's just a really inopportune time when they have their meetings. It's just like Tuesday at like 7 or something like that. And it's just super difficult for me to try to make it there. As you guys know, Tuesday is one of the days I work out in the field. And, the days that I work out in the field, that's a 16-hour day. And it just doesn't really lend itself to like going to a meeting, like that, like just a fun meeting. I might go to a AA meeting or something like that if I had the vibe that I had to go to one. I would definitely go to that because I've mentioned this many times before, but my sobriety is my priority. You know what I mean? Like it's assuredly is. So I would probably go to that kind of meeting, but the fish club meeting, I don't know. And a lot of the people the speakers that they have that come in, I've seen before. So, it's like Ted Judy. I just saw him at Aquatic Experience. I don't know if he's been a speaker there. I think he has been a speaker there at some point in time, but I'm just saying, for instance, that was the first guy that popped into my head. I just saw him at Aquatic Experience, so it would be kind of weird to go like see Ted Judy talk, because I just saw him, and we talked in person for a long time. So that kind of stuff. Let's see. Barbara Jackson with a $10 super chat. Oh my gosh. But as you guys better know that Barbara is a big time supporter of the show. She's also a supporter on Patreon, and I thank you very much. I thank my lucky stars for all the patronizers and whatnot. I really do. But the $10 super chat says, have a wonderful Thanksgiving to Joel, Victoria, and Olivia Jean, and to all the Fish Fam Oceaneers. Mad props. If you don't know what an Oceaneer is, that's the name of my channel is super confusing to people. And the Oceaneers is a play on the second word, Oscen, however you're supposed to say it, who knows. None of us are really Latin anyhow. It's a play on that, the Oceaneers. And, it's like, how do you become an Oceaneer? You become a big-time fan, but the easiest way to do it is to be like Brian Dahlberg. If you don't know who Brian Dahlberg is, you live under a rock, that's for sure. Or Joel Gilman. Or Valerie Van Zyl, or Justin Woody. You head over to the Patreon page, and it's easy. Like, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month to help out, if you like. Or not. You don't have to, but it's once a month. And like Brian Dahlberg at $5 a month, as he literally posted, I don't know, am I an Oceaneer now? I think he's been around. We've been talking online for years and years and years, so I think for sure. But it's also that's a feather in a hat. That's a pin on the lapel, right? And thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody else, too. Joel Gillett says, how's quitting the barks going, a.k.a. cigarettes? Tobacco use is at a 0. We are at a 0 now for tobacco use. As Benjamin P. says, hashtag Vape Nation, right? That's that Vape Nation, right? Vape Nation, right? That H3 did an awesome video. If you've never seen it, look up the Vape Nation thing. It's good times. But definitely down to 0 now. Vaping is certainly helping out, and couldn't be happier with that. Down to 0, and will be baby stepping my way to Nothing. I guess the absence of anything was nothing, right? I think that's how that goes. So down to 0. That's great. It's basically the last thing that's been stressing me out as far as my life health, my all that kind of stuff. That's basically the last thing. And as I was talking to my cousin this last weekend, and I was like, you know what? I was just, Olivia coming along was just something that I could psychologically go, I'm going to quit smoking. I'm not going to use tobacco anymore once the baby comes. So definitely, it's like the baby is here. Now is time. As we say in recovery, like today's the day. Now's the time. But for whatever reason with the tobacco use, I just couldn't wrap my mind around that. I just kept going like, well, yeah, maybe tomorrow or whatever. But whatever it takes to get right. So just doing the vape thing, and it's working great. Ed's Fish says, hey, I just switched to vape too. It keeps me from turning into a human haka puffer. I agree. Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see. Kiwi Mamo, I've been yo-yoing quitting for a while. I just don't seem to have the willpower to quit for good. I would say, the smoking cessation products that are out there, whether it's the patch, whether it's the gum, whether it's vaping, I think all of those are a viable, not only are they a viable alternative, but it's just, establishing that barrier to just like walk away from it. It had been a while since I smoked. I went and smoked like 2 or 3 days ago. And literally, just by that point, my body was just like, nope, we don't do this anymore. And I was just like, oh. So whatever's going on is working, and I'm just gonna go with that. So, and whatever works for you guys, I would just go with that too. If anybody else is, if you're using any tobacco products to get rid of it, do whatever you can to just get it out of there, because it's a monumental waste of time. And I'm not criticizing anybody that's smoking. I'm honestly not criticizing anybody that uses tobacco. For years, it would be super hypocritical for me to do that. But it's, the tobacco thing was the thing I was hanging on. Even though I've been sober almost 5 years now, it was the one thing that was hanging on. And it's just had to get rid of it. Had to get rid of it. It was still that thing that was clinging on from my past life, and just had to get rid of it, and couldn't be happier about it. Yeah, I'm a little bit stressed out. Yeah, I'm a little bit cranky, but it's good times. So, Creedmoor Aquatics says, if you want to dial in your ferts, figure out what micros you are underdosing. If you can't, you're just shooting blind in the dark. It's a good point. Nice work, Creedmoor. Yeah, I mean, I realistically am pretty much down to the point nowadays where I'm essentially using only Easy Green. I'm not doing any dry ferts or anything like that anymore, because it's just a monumental waste of time. But sounds like you have a Fluval 3.0 and CO2, so you pretty much got the system that I'm in the video right here. Don't know much about ferts. Would it benefit me to start dosing a more custom mix? If so, where do I start? So that's a pretty long question to answer, but the easiest thing I would say at this point is, if you're utilizing Easy Green, it is a real comprehensive fertilizer. So what I would be doing is testing your nitrate to see what's going on, and utilize nitrate as your baseline, because it's something that's pretty easy to test for. And then in combination with that, you can go, oh, I'm doing this much fertilizer, I'm doing this much water change, my nitrates are doing this, and visually I have this going on. So with those like 4 things, you could really combine, like, oh, I've got some hair algae, but I didn't do any water changes last week, and I only dosed half the amount of Easy Green, and my nitrates have just dropped all the way down to 0. That means, like, I don't really have anything for I don't really have anything for my plants to eat right now. So that's probably one of the main reasons why algae would be taking over. So, and then a lot of the other deficiencies are really noticeable in most new plant growth. So, if you're low on potassium or this or that, or whatever you could be low on, it's pretty obvious in how the plant is growing. So, I would definitely go that route. That's pretty much the four-fingered approach that I take. It's realistically visual, and then basically my maintenance schedule, how much I'm dosing, and then testing for nitrate. I basically put all four of those elements together and adjust accordingly, right? So that's the way that I would go if I was me. So I would recommend that for you. Now, your baseline water that is coming into your systems by doing water changes and doing whatever maintenance it is that you're doing, you're going to have to take that stuff into account. So definitely test your water source. You may have to pre-filter it. You may not have to pre-filter it. Just depends where you are, there's a lot of things that go into it, but find out what your water source is and then figure out how to approach it with basically those four things. That's pretty much how I would that's pretty much how I operate now, and how I pretty much would recommend most people. And my way of doing it might not work for you. You might have to figure out a whole completely different method that works for you and your style of care and all that kind of stuff. I would definitely go that route. Let's see here. A lot of people talking about not fish stuff. I'm trying to find a question right now that's more fish related. I appreciate you guys talking about tobacco stuff, but this isn't a tobacco live stream. Come on now. We might be in the vape niche, but that's not what we're all about. Oh, James Handy's here. What's up, man? Oh, we got a brand new Patreon in the house. Scott Williams, a brand new Oceaneer on Patreon. Well, thank you. Man, it's like I got that Thanksgiving spirit. Whoa. Clockwork Brigadier, the $5 super chat says, "Congrats, my father quit smoking cold turkey when my older sister was born, and I've always been grateful to him that I grew up in a smoke-free home." I've never smoked in my house. So anybody that's attributing, my daughter's health and that kind of stuff, I've never smoked in here. I never smoked in the house. I've always smoked outside. Admittedly, I did smoke in my wood shop. Not the greatest thing to do, but I never smoked in the house. I would never. Personally, I find it to be. It would be crazy to, in my opinion, to afflict everyone else with my nonsense. So I never smoked inside, and just like a dumpster fire of a house when you walk in there when people are smoking. Just like always dirty. Mortal Slayer 82 says, "Did you ever find the pink flamingo crypt?" Yes, I have a bunch of it. I'm nursing it back to health. I got a bunch of it from the aquatic experience, and it did not travel well. And I think a lot of that had to do with Southwest Airlines. I was flying Southwest Airlines, and that stuff was like ice cold when we got down. So I bet that has a lot to do with it. I don't think that they heat their luggage area at all. So I think it's basically like slightly pressurized cold deal. Let's see. Hey 87. Can you talk a bit about curing velvet in a 60-gallon? My quarantine is too small to put all the fish in. It has some plants and shrimp. I've dosed Icax. Velvet. Velvet is almost always like it's velvet's like the craziest thing to deal with. And I don't have great advice. My advice would be keep hammering at it. Good luck. Velvet is a monster pain in the butt. And saltwater velvet on top of that is even crazier. So I would just keep it up. Just keep rocking and rolling and going that route. Diana wants to know when Olivia making her camera appearance. She will at some point in time. I don't know when. It's not scheduled or anything. Lucy and Richard. So Rick bought me a new 57-gallon corner tank. What size pump? Got the Sump. Do you recommend a 10-gallon tank? I highly recommend. Oh, let me see. I got my. Where the hell's my Amazon store? I have to find it. I have to go here and then wait for this to load. That was going to take a second. Oh, maybe not. Not that long. That didn't take that long. Oops. Well, it takes longer if I click the wrong button. Here we go. Now I've got it. Paste. Boom. Okay, so that is my storefront. So people are wondering sometimes about things that I use and things that would be on Amazon and stuff like that. Most all of them are in there. Most all of the things that I use. DC pump. DC pump. Aquarium. The current USA makes a really cool one. Reef Octopus makes an awesome one, but it's like $200. So I start to get depressed when I'm like, it's going to be a $200 pump. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let me double check if I have, let me find the link to the actual one that I got. All right, here we go. Let's get the text copy. Here's the pump. Copy. Paste. Boom. There we go. And let me make sure that this is... All right. So I try to put as much stuff that all the stuff that I put in the in my influencer page there is literally like stuff that I use and or will use again or something like that. So you can definitely look through all that stuff. Hopefully it helps you out a little bit. There's the pump that I actually just put in on the new 120 out there, and maybe that'll help you. I don't know. But if you are going to Amazon, just like if you're going to Aquarium Co-op, be sure to use my affiliate link if you want to support. It's a great way to support. You don't necessarily have to be like Scott Williams or Brian Dahlberg or John Gilman or Valerie or Justin. You don't necessarily have to go to the Patreon to support the show. But you could always just click through a simple link and go buy stuff that you were going to normally buy. Ed's Fish, sorry to hear about your father. Oh, what happened? Oh, no. What's going on? My dad has smoked for 60 years. This summer he had to be resuscitated and had emergency open heart surgery. He also has the start of lung cancer. That is my motivation. Yeah. Whatever it takes to get motivated on it. Whatever it takes to get motivated on it, just go for it. Just go for it. You won't no, you're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it. Angelfish Haven. Joel, I want to have live plants in with my breeding pairs of angelfish, bare bottom tanks, thinking small clay pots. I have wisteria and octopus plant, and that they're easy green. Any thoughts on soil? The Amazon influencer page I just posted, We'll have some soils in there that I've used, some aqua soils that I've certainly used. You know, EcoComplete, Fluval Stratum, Amazonia, any of that kind of stuff. I definitely would go for it. I definitely would go for it. Jackson K says, how many patronizers do you have now? Let's see. We lost a lot. We lost a lot of patronizers when Corey turned off his Patreon. We lost a ton of people. We lost about 50. We lost about 50 patronizers, and we're mildly recovering at this point. We're up to 281, which is crazy. It's crazy awesome, and I love it. I love it. Thank you guys. It's too much to even be able to explain my gratitude. But we're up to 281. And you can also make it a one-time deal. If you want to make it just a one-time thing, that's fine too. Matthew DiCarlo says, what are good tank mates for parrotfish and gouramis? I'm looking to add my stock but want something different. Eesh. I've been around parrotfish. I don't know what's good. I think pretty much just about anything would go with parrotfish because it's not like they can breed. As long as the water parameters are close from where they're coming from, I don't think it matters. They are kind of a weird hybrid mutant sterile fish, but they are kind of derpy. So I would make sure that there was stuff that they'll still be able to get some food. I guess that would probably be the best thing. Barbara Jackson says, why would Corey's Patreon change your stuff? We had a lot of similar patronizers. So a lot of people just deleted their accounts when Corey was like, I'm turning mine off. A lot of people just deleted their accounts or stopped patronizing because we have a lot of the same patronizers basically because of Real Fish Talk and stuff like that. So when Corey said, nah, when Corey turned his off, like it basically just, he has that much influence. I mean, he has like 250,000 subscribers on YouTube and a ton of people. He has that much influence. He has a lot of influence. And if he decides to do something, other people will do it. They'll do it too. So, James Handy said, I use clay pots with Amazon swords and or floated water sprite and hornwort. Yeah, I mean, so I guess back to the live pants with the breeding pairs of angelfish. Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that like the most common plant with breeding angelfish would be like Valsnaria or something like that. Would be pretty much. Oh, here we go. Like Ramosa just posted, would Valsnaria or Amazon swords be better background plant in a 65? Let's answer that. They're pretty similar there. So Valsnaria is pretty much just a bulletproof plant. As I've mentioned before, in the United States, a lot of federal agencies and stuff use it for erosion control. They're sort of dialing back on that now because they're realizing how invasive it can be. But it's a pretty bulletproof plant and can definitely handle any kind of chaos going on. But so Valsnaria would be a good plant for breeding angels because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's pretty bulletproof, so I wouldn't be that worried about it. But I think if I was going to breed angels, personally, I probably would go with something like some big sword plants. It really, some big sword plants really lend itself to them dropping their eggs on it, and then it makes it really easy to just rip that leaf off and take the plants out, or take the eggs with it. So I would go that way. I would definitely go that route with sword plants. And what did like Ramosa, Valsnaria or Amazon swords be the better background plant in a 65-gallon? I personally would go with sword plants over Valsnaria. Valsnaria is just a weed. It's the sort of plant that people buy when they're just starting out because they want their tank to look like they know what they're doing. And obviously that's not everybody out there, but you know what I mean. Like, it's a real beginner plant that will it really is like one of those beginner plants that you can just kind of stick in a bucket of water and it'll probably grow. uh, and I think realistically, most people, once they've been doing plants for a little while, everybody starts out with some plant that is similar to that and then realizes, like, 6 months, a year, 2 years later or whatever, they're like, this plant's a huge pain in the butt. I got to get rid of it. Right. So, you know, ba, 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 whoa. Benjamin P says, I really need to cancel my Netflix and use that $8 to $10 or whatever it is to start patronizing my fish fam. Oh, well, that's actually not a bad idea realistically with like how many people are live streaming and stuff like that now. If you are somebody that like watches a lot of these live streams, like me and Corey and like KG Tropicals or okay, I'm drawing a blank now after the fact, but like Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, that kind of stuff. Bob Steamfot, like if you're watching a lot of these live streams and stuff and the interactive nature of it, like this could probably pretty easily take place of TV at this point. If you only watch like an hour a day of TV or whatever, but I do like my Netflix though. I do like my Netflix and chill. Delicious coffee. Woo. Oh my God, we have new patronizers coming in. Thomas Donchek just upped his pledge. Oh, thank you, man. Janice Murphy, thank you very much, and Cody Hutton, brand new. Janice Murphy and Cody and Scott Williams. It's been like a million years since we've gotten 3 patronizers in one day. Well, thanks, guys. Hey, I really appreciate it. James Leiser said tank tested, open to Patreon too. Yeah, I talked about that a long time ago. So I'm glad to hear that he did it. I haven't looked at it or anything like that, so I don't know. He does those real like National Geographic style videos and stuff, which I enjoy for sure. A chance you dropping in on Corey's stream tomorrow? No, there's no chance I'm doing that. I did last year. Vicky Toria and I did last year, but we're not driving up there. I do have some family that lives near Corey. So that's why it really worked out last year, because we were like, we're driving by. Why not stop by and say hi to you guys for half an hour? But tomorrow we won't be stopping by there. We're staying here. It takes upwards of 3 hours to go up there and come back, so it's probably going to be a negative. I mean, like, for sure a negative. All right. Before we go and get out of here, I want to remind all you guys that the Aquarium Co-op, speaking of Corey and the Aquarium Co-op, there's a gigantic sale that is starting tomorrow, and I wanted to let you guys know, go figure it out if you're going to take advantage of it. It's 15% off, like all that stuff. So you guys could update your CO2 equipment like I am. You could maybe update a light or some of that kind of stuff. That's going to get crazy expensive after the beginning of the year because of the new tariffs that are going on. So that stuff is just going to be imported and going to be taxed 25%. So the increase in price is going to go way up. Plus, it's going to be 15% off starting tomorrow. And I want to put a strong emphasis on you guys that if there is stuff that you're going to get from there, definitely get it tonight, like at midnight, man. Like, I'm not even kidding. So, it's definitely going to be the important route to go. Jackson's asking, is the new Avatar Corvus approved? It's so small on my end, I can't really tell what it is. Oh, man, it's a picture of us. Yes. I mean, the only downside is that I'm in the picture, but I'll approve it. Guys, I'm not that vain. You know what I mean. I'm not that much. John Gonzalez says 2-hour live stream. Come on. Hey man, I got my baby. I got my baby and my lady I got to deal with, and we're making pie crust for tomorrow. So, but we do definitely have like probably 10 more minutes on the show here before I gotta get rolling. Probably because I'm gonna pee my pants if I try to go 2 hours today, because I think I had to pee when we started, and you know, I haven't since we started. Mainly because I was taking my baby. I was playing with Olivia, most, comforting her while she had hiccups. So I didn't have a chance to go to the restroom before the show started. Ed's Fish, it really is. One day I spent about 6 hours jumping from one stream to the next. If that isn't fish flicks and chilling, I don't know what is. I like that. That's pretty good. Like Ramosa says, does the sale start at midnight? I tried it at the beginning of the month, and the code from before was still active. The sale starts at midnight. So I swear I would set an alarm to hit that thing right at midnight. And the main reason I bring that up is because a bunch of stuff is going to get sold out. Like I said, I was at the warehouse the other day, and there is a ton, there's a ton of stuff there, right? But there is a finite amount of the lights and the the CO2, sponge filter intakes, all that kind of stuff. There's a finite amount of it there, and I'm honestly a little bit freaked out that they're just going to be sold out of everything. I'm not kidding. It just is 100% that warehouse doesn't, when you go in there, it doesn't go on. It's not football fields big. You know what I mean? So, it really is a finite amount of stuff, and they really will just get sold out. So, I realistically would be like, dude, if you've been waiting for that light, or you're thinking about trying out that CO2 art, which this regulator right here, it's going to be what I'm running. So maybe if you got one and I get one and we set them up around the same time and they both work really good, or they both break, we'd have more ammo to go at those guys if it was broken. Or we'd have more ammo to congratulate them for making an awesome product if it works really good. So, you know what I mean. Kevin Hayes just scored a 220-gallon custom tank today for free on Craigslist. What the? How am I supposed to sell this 180? I have a 180-gallon super awesome acrylic tank outside that I need to sell, and no one is even inquired to buy it. It's weird. It's really weird. I was certainly expecting that. Jackson, yeah, I could probably make myself. I could go back to full screen for the end of the show. Thank you for reminding me. I was like, I don't know. I just kind of like having them fish swimming around and all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of nice. And I'm excited about the puffers, and they're cool. They got a good personality. You know what I mean? So, what the heck was I talking about? Oh, man, I forgot what I was talking about. Alexandra Tramonti says, free shipping to Florida? Yeah. It's United States Postal Service, man. It's coming quick, and it will be right in there. So, yeah, it's going to be... Dan Squires. Oh, free shipping of that tank? No, I won't be able to. No, I don't even know how much that thing weighs. I did move it by myself. It's pretty heavy. It's super thick acrylic. I will tell you, it's really nice acrylic. I think it's I want to say it's 3/4 or maybe it's 7/8 thick. Or maybe it's an inch. I don't know. But it's a nice, thick 180-gallon acrylic. Custom made by Jason. The same guy who built the 120s, as it turns out. I didn't even know that until Jason messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, this tank that you posted, like I built that a long time ago," or for him it was like 5 years ago or something like that. But it's I wouldn't say that it's brand new. It does have a couple scuffs on it and stuff like that, but it's really nice and could easily be polished up a little bit. Oh man, we've got new patronizers. Dorina Potter just increased to $2. Austin Smith just went up to $5. Cody Hutton just come. We've got brand new patronizers today. This is crazy. It's crazy, you guys. And, jeez, Vexing Cat with a $10 super chat into the tip jar. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. We do get to a certain point where I'm just like, I don't even know how to say thank you again. I got to figure out some nicer ways to say thank you, because maybe I'm just too crusty. Maybe I'm just too crusty, and I'm like, hey man, I wanted to say thanks again to y'all. But hopefully that sale's gonna work out for you guys. I don't know. I tried. I don't know. I hope you guys take advantage of it if you want. If you don't, then that's all good too. So I wouldn't be super stressed out. But I'm stressed out that stuff's going to get sold out, and I'm going to hear about it from people that are like, man, I wanted to get that, but it was bought. And I'll be like, I wanted to tell all the Oceaneers, get there ASAP tonight at midnight, because that's when it starts. I know Corey was trying to change it so that it would start at like 6 in the morning or something like that, but nope, it starts at midnight. So I just wanted you guys to know, be prepared and ready to rock, because I think that's like 3 a.m. East Coast time. I think the West Coast people have a better chance of jumping on the steals and deals. And I also wanted to crap, what was I going to say? I don't know. Man. Getting to the point where I'm going to need some naps. Somebody's blowing me up. Somebody's sending me pictures. Oh, it's Kevin's tank. Oh, that's awesome, Kevin. Free, huh? Free? You're just making it look like people going to buy my tank. Oh my god, I think I've seen this tank before. Maybe not. Nope, never mind. I thought it was a tank that I'd seen before. Not the case. Never mind. The little tiny picture looked like something I'd seen before, but it's not. Okay, yeah, I need more Mr. Browns. I'm just running out of gas. It's all right. But yeah, I guess check out the sale. Keep on keeping on. Kiwi Mamo says, on Patreon, can I use a username instead of my real name? Yep. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, as far as I know. All right, let's see if we answered all the super chats. Yeah, I'm just getting to that point where I'm like, I'm running out of things to talk about. I need to get a guest on here at some point in time. We need to get special guest. Maybe we'll get Vexing Cat to come out. Vexing Cat, thank you very much for the super chat. John Gonzalez, Clockwork Brigadier. I like that. The Brigadier General of Clockwork. I like it. Barbara Jackson and Scott Williams, thank you very much for your guys' super chats today. I appreciate it. It all goes back into production. It's been a bit of a weird month. I thought I was going to be able to sell that 180 and pay for the gimbal, but that just never worked out. So we're just going to keep rocking and rolling. We'll see if we can sell it in the future. And who knows? Hands, throw them up in the air like you just don't care. Like Hermosa says, if you signed up with Facebook, it'll automatically use your real name, but I believe if you go into your settings, you can change it. As far as I know, you can change your name on Patreon. I know somebody was asking me a little while ago how to post pictures on there. That seems to be the most common question that comes up. You do have to go to the desktop thing and do it that way. And just have to go that route. I should probably stop reading people's names off if they don't want them read. But we do have a new patronizer, Ben. Thank you very much, coming in. Jeez, it's going crazy today. I haven't had a day. There hasn't been a day like this on Patreon in a really long time. That's wild. Oh, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new people and 2 people up their pledges? That's crazy. All right, guys. Well, we gotta get rocking and rolling. We gotta get rocking and rolling. But I will remind you, if you do become an Oceaneer on Patreon, it's super easy, just like Jason, to message me on there. It's much easier than it's the easiest way to basically get a hold of me, because I'm always gonna check Patreon posts. Plain and simple. I check my emails, joel@darkstararts.com. That's a free way to talk to me. That's one of the free ways that you can get a hold of me. But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't always check my email or get back to it 100% of the time. But patronizers I do, so I don't know. Maybe that's just a character flaw, and I just need to get back to every single person always. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, love you guys. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Get your orders ready for the coop. Don't forget to go through my affiliate link, guys, so that people know so that Corey knows I sent you, and then maybe I'll be able to, maybe we'll be able to beat Aqua Pros. I don't know. It seems doubtful. 56 orders behind him, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I love you guys. Try to take advantage of some deals deals and steals while you can, and eat some turkey. Have a great weekend. Blah 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 blah. Hopefully I'll be back on Friday. If not, check out some edited videos coming out. A big shout out to Jake. You know who you are, Jake. What's up, Jake? Have a fantastic